And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all assorted ages. Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. It's July 17th, 2023, and these are your Fortean Files. I am without the lovely KT tonight, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So, such predicaments, I must forge ahead. You know, it is what it is, as they say. I thought about starting this off with a margarita, but cooler heads prevailed, and I decided that probably wasn't the best idea tonight. So, here we go. I am not going to bury the lead tonight, people. No. There is an important story out there today that everybody wants to know about. And everybody should know about today. And that is the birthday of this man, Donald Sutherland, 88 years old, known for such great films as MASH, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Trying to think of some other stuff. Oh, Kelly's Heroes. One of my personal favorites. Yes, good old Donald Sutherland. 88 years young, as they say. Good man, Donald Sutherland. Gave us one hell of a drunk son. Or so it seems in the videos I've seen of him. But an American treasure. Well, a Canadian treasure, technically. Although that is in North America, so that could be considered an American treasure? Maybe? I don't know. He is Canadian, though. So there is that. Donald Sutherland, 88 years old today. Big story. Big fucking story. I didn't want to bury that one tonight. Thought that was super important. Everybody should know. In case they didn't. Because I thought it was very important. He's a great actor. Did some great shit. The Puppet Masters, too. Which is like a B-movie, sci-fi, Robert Heinlein. Good Donald Sutherland vehicle. I prefer the man. You know? What am I saying? What am I going to say? Oddball. Kelly's Heroes. If you haven't seen it, do so. Tonight, you have homework. But the actual big story of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, good old Rex Heuermann. Let's see if I get the right one here. Oh yeah, this one right here. Good old Rex Heuermann was arrested and charged with 3 murders and is probably going to be brought up on charges on the 4th. These are all murders that were part of the Long Island serial killer bunch, all found in the Gilgo Beach area. They tied him to this with DNA from a pizza box that they got from him, and hairs in the sacks that he wrapped these women with. There was hair from his wife. And that is how they tied him to this. He also had connections to the victims, 3 of the 4 victims, via a phone that they tied to him somehow. He was also looking up some very interesting internet searches. People are fucking dumb. That's all I gotta say. People are dumb. Dumb as shit. His internet searches might as well have said, "Come find me, I'm a serial killer." I mean, you'd have to be like seriously into some true crime to a point where you're trying to put yourself in the serial killer's shoes to search for this shit. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. But yeah, so we await more information on this one. Besides them updating it like pretty much constantly right now, this dude, Rex Heuermann, 59 years old, an architect, I believe. Yeah. If it's true, if he is tied to these murders, what a piece of shit. One of the women that was within this group was from Southern Maine, where I'm from. It's sad to hear about a woman who got caught up in sex work, in this type of thing. This guy preyed on sex workers through Craigslist, and yeah, not a pleasant story. This is a kind of a happy ending, I guess you could say. They caught him, although I don't know that it's much of a happy ending, except that they fucking caught him. I would like to see justice, but in any of these things, I don't know that we ever can, or that we ever do, or I just don't know. With the way that things are, when I look at the punishments for these crimes and the quote unquote rehabilitation or whatever. I just don't know that we go about doing things the right way. I don't know what is the right way. I'm not saying that I got any of the fucking answers for that, but the more and more I look into like true crime and see like cases played out, I just don't know that we go about things completely the right way. So we shall see in the case of Rex Heuermann. Good old Rex. He's got a hell of a name for a serial killer. You gotta say that. I mean, you can throw Lisk right out the fucking window when you got Rex. They gotta do something. I'm gonna go probably something along the lines of Tyrannosaurus type thing. Somebody will fucking find it. It ain't gonna be me today. I can tell you that. I'm a little slow. On the uptake. It's been a weekend, let's just say. So yeah, this was huge news over the weekend. So I didn't want to wait until the quote unquote second half of the show for this one. he was arrested, charged with 3 of the murders. They're more than likely going to charge him with the 4th, I'm assuming, and everyone else is assuming too. So that isn't a stretch. But yeah, if it is the case, if he is guilty of these crimes, then fuck him. You know, I don't know that we'd see him fry or anything, but fuck him. So yeah, good old Rex. Arrested this weekend. Or over the weekend or before the week. I don't fucking know what day it was. It was not that long ago. So there's that. Take it as you will. Yeah, it's been a week. I finally watched the Transformers movie. The new Transformers movie. Always was a Transformers fan growing up. Huge. Had the toys. Ma, buy me the fucking toys, you know. Shut the fuck up, kid. And then she threw them all away. And then you come to find out years later that they would have been worth fucking money and you want to stab her. But, you know, there's that. Had the old original ones too. The die-cast metal shit. Not the plastic shit. Anyway. Watched that, and I didn't mind it. It was an enjoyable experience, I will say. I think if anybody goes into a Transformers movie expecting some pithy, you know, deep fucking film, you're barking up the wrong tree. You know, if you want to watch humongous robots beat the shit out of each other, you're probably going to have a good time. I did enjoy it more than I've enjoyed some of the previous incarnations since the first one. I thought that the first one was good, and then after that I thought they kind of fell off. But this one is, I thought it was decent. I really enjoyed it. The action was fun. I liked where they went with it, I'll say. But yeah, not a pithy fucking movie. I didn't sit there and go, oh, that was so deep. And I went, oh, that looked really cool. And went about my day. So, if you want something that looks really cool, then it might be right up your alley. If you want something pithy, skip it. My reading has really fell off. I've been saying this for a couple of fucking weeks now. Video games, people. Video games. Tomb Raider. Play a lot of Tomb Raider. Just, you know, kind of takes up the time that I normally would read. And I die a lot and curse it out. And, well, that and BattleBit. I've been playing a lot of BattleBit, too. People who know. BattleBit. It's crazy. It's like if somebody took... So, people don't know. You aren't even going to get these references, so tune out. But it's as if somebody took Battlefield and crossed it with Roblox, I guess is what people are saying. I would say like Minecraft. And made a game. And that's what it looks like. Like these blocky ass people running around shooting each other. It's a shit ton of fun. I get die a lot. I spend a lot of time on the ground, waiting to be bandaged. It's very humbling. These fucking people run around you and shoot you constantly. I'll spawn, drop in, run 10 feet, and get fucking shot. It's great. Good times. Curse out everyone. It's a wonderful experience. I recommend it. When I play those games, it reminds me of years ago I played a game called Tribes, where it was a capture the flag type game, 2 teams, you had jetpacks and guns and shit. It was a lot of fun. I'd get out of work, pop into one of those games, and just release a shit ton of tension. Just shooting at people. It was great. That's what those games are for. Just great tension releasers. Get in there, scream, get pissed off. It's a good time. Good time. I think everybody should try it at least once. At least once. On to our news of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take anything away from you all. Let's see. What do we have tonight? Oh, let's start with this one from the New York Times. Oh, are you serious? No, well, fuck the New York Times and fuck that article. I guess Senator Schumer pushed a measure to declassify UFO records, but the New York Times won't let me read it because I've reached my limit of free articles, so fuck them. So yeah, they're gonna do something like that, I guess. Because I can't fucking read it. Dumbasses. Oh, I don't know why they do that shit. But we'll move on to the next story. From Indy100.com. New drone footage of Bigfoot hailed as the best yet. I want to say that I have seen this before. This footage. I don't think this is new. No. The video that they're bringing up is from 7 months ago. And this is Ken's Carpentry that posted this. I have seen this video before. It's a drone shot from above down into the woods. With what appears to be a figure walking through. I will try to find the exact moment on the footage here. There's a spot where it walks through the video. And, I mean, you can see whatever it is. Yeah, it's right there. I'm going to assume it's that right there. I don't think it's there. Unless it is. Yeah, it's right there. I'm going to assume it's this here. I'll pop this up so that everybody can see this. Sorry, I was trying to find it so I could show it to you all. So we'll share this here. Make this full screen. And this is the video that they're referring to. I mean, that's the only spots that I can see with a figure walking through.
What the world?
Yeah, and he's saying, what the world? So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think Bigfoot. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know, folks. I don't know. That's the article here is saying that it's new drone footage. It's from, like I said, it's from 7 months ago. And I'm pretty sure this is one that Phil had looked at before and laughed at, basically. That's my best interpretation of what he did. That's what I assume he does at most of these videos. But I'm pretty sure with this one, he broke that one. He broke this one down from Ken's Carpentry, and hey, I don't know what it is. It looks like a figure. Could it be a human being? Yeah, probably. More than likely, if you ask me. Maybe dressed up to look like a Sasquatch. That's my personal opinion. You guys can watch the video. The video is out there. It says it's the title of it is Sasquatch, Bigfoot or a bear ? Not real. Oh, it says not real on this one. But I clicked on it and it said Ken's Carpentry. Not real? Why would it say not real? Anyway, I don't know. You guys can look at it, see what you think. Come to your own conclusions. I'm no expert. That sort of thing. But I saw that one and I said, yeah, that's definitely a video I'm gonna go over this week, since somebody's talking about it as it's new and the best yet. I don't know if it's the best yet, and it's definitely not new. So I'm gonna go with no on that. Let's see, we'll get rid of that one, and we'll do another Bigfoot story from KOAT.com. Humorous Bigfoot warning issued by Taos County Sheriff's Office from New Mexico. In an apparent humorous post, the Taos County Sheriff's Office has offered safety tips for campers in the area due to a Bigfoot warning. The humorous warning states the species are coming down from the high country to the Kern River, which is not a river in New Mexico, to hunt for fish and vegetation. If you happen to see one, here's what they are saying to do. Go about your business. Take photos documenting the event. Do not run toward or away from Bigfoot. Do not yell. Do not try to feed Bigfoot. The Taos County Sheriff's Office appears to be having fun with the oft-viewed mythical creature, Yeti. The social media post made by the Sheriff's Office during the 4th of July weekend wished everyone a happy and safe and funny holiday weekend. Thought that was an interesting one. Good old Bigfoot humor. You gotta like it. What else do we have this week? Oh, we got another big one. This is a Bigfoot one. This is a kind of an older story. I came across that was published today. The 1 million pound hunt for the abominable snowman. This is from iflscience.com. In 1954, the Daily Mail forked out a lot of money to hunt for the legendary Yeti, but they were not very successful. Well, that sucks. Forked out all that money and nothing. In 1954, the Daily Mail sponsored a team of journalists and mountaineers to search the Himalayas for the elusive and very real, so they believed, abominable snowman. Abominable. I can't fucking speak that word. The whole venture was a failure that cost the newspaper the equivalent of 1 million pounds in today's money, but it also demonstrates the excitement that surrounded this supposed cryptid at the time. The abominable snowman, otherwise known as the Yeti, is a legendary humanoid-like creature that lurks in the remote Himalayan mountains. This mysterious cryptid has fascinated humans for centuries with both its rare appearances and the tantalizing signs it supposedly leaves behind. Despite the many stories that purport to its presence in the Central Asian mountaintops, there is no solid evidence to support its existence. But when has that ever stopped people from trying to find it? Stories about the Yeti were already circulating in Britain during the 19th century when diplomats spread stories about the wild men of Nepal who were able to move at great speeds across the snow. Versions of this creature were further popularized by newspapers, and it soon found a home in the colorful tales of Conan Doyle, Rider Haggard, and Jules Verne. But it wasn't until 1921 that Yeti really became a household name associated with a distant monster. That year, the British Mountain Everest reconnaissance expedition allegedly encountered traces of the strange beastie while trying to map a route up the world's highest mountain. During their descent, they found large footprints in the snow, which the expedition leader, Charles Howard Bury, believed were made by a wolf, but the local guides had other thoughts. According to the experienced Sherpa, the footprints belonged to the Meto Kangmi, which translates to man-bear snowman. However, when a young journalist called Henry Newman got hold of the story, his attempts to translate Mito gave him filthy, rather than man-bear, so he decided to sensationalize his mistranslated creature, a tweaked name, the abominable snowman. In doing so, Newman brought an old legend to a new audience. The Yeti is actually an ancient creature that hails from Himalayan folklore. It is usually presented as a danger and a warning against wandering too far from the safety of the community. The legend is so old that even Alexander the Great was said to have wanted to see a Yeti when he conquered the Indus Valley in 326 BCE. According to witnesses, the Yeti is a large, muscular biped that is covered in thick gray or sometimes reddish-brown hair. Caught somewhere between a man and a bear or gorilla, the creature is often described as being around 1.8 meters, 6 feet tall, which is comparatively shorter than the American Bigfoot is meant to be. Nevertheless, the beastie occupies a similar space in the popular imagination. In many ways, the Yeti, along with its North American counterpart, continues the ancient folkloric tradition of the wild man that features in many cultures across the world. The ubiquity of this particular type of being is interpreted as a sign of our uneasy relationship with nature and represents a kind of liminal embodiment of man and beast civilization and the wild. After Henry Newman popularized the name of the abominable snowman, an act that the cryptozoologist Ivan Sanderson described as being like an explosion of an atom bomb in capturing imaginations, many serious and hobbyist explorers set out to find the mysterious creature. But while it inspired some to become intrepid hunters, others saw a chance for mischief. No shit. Always with the fucking mischief with this shit. Tricksters and pranksters started capitalizing on the Yeti's most supposed existence and produced fake evidence that some found too compelling to ignore. One such piece was created by a man called Eric Shipton, who took pictures of footprints in the snow that he claimed belonged to the Yeti. It was Shipton's photos that inspired the 1954 Daily Mail exhibition. The team, consisting of journalists, ornithologists, zoologists, and 370 porters armed with tranquilizer guns and a cage, set off on a journey that took them 15 weeks to complete. On February 17, 1954, the Advertiser reported that the exhibition was well on its way and that one of the party members, Charles Stoner, was already there and had come across tracks of the abominable snowman. The accompanying account from Ralph Izzard is filled with intriguing descriptions that evoke the excitement of the hunt, but despite this apparent early progress, the Yeti remained at large. Moreover, some aspects of the search were simply farcical. Blah, 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 blah. They never brought anything back anyway. And, it cost the fucking Daily Mail quite a bit of money, I guess. Bummer. Bummer for them. Bummer on that one, I guess. It would have been cool if they had found something. And I know that at some point they tested some shit from that area and it came out to be a bear, but it wasn't like a normal bear. So, I don't know. It's very interesting shit. Our next story of the evening, from themirror.co.uk. I visited one of the most haunted transport stations and heard voices in the walls. A woman who visited what is said to be London's most haunted station had goosebumps when she heard voices coming from the walls, but there was an explanation for it. My London reporter Anna Willis joined a tour of a network of rooms and passageways underneath Waterloo Station that few people can get access to. The area is located under Platform 16 and just above it. Thousands of commuters walk every day without knowing they are near the most haunted area of the station. Miss Willis said that while standing in the area, she had goosebumps as she heard low murmuring that seemed to be coming directly from the walls. But after an initial scare, the tour guide said the voices were actually real and did not belong to a ghost trapped in the walls. She wrote, "It was an unearthly experience and we were all quite keen to move away from it. But then we were told the voices were real. The reason behind this was rather less spooky than that a ghost was trapped in the walls. Our tour guide told us that what was actually happening was the test kit for the station's public address system had been put inside a room right next to where we were standing. So we were hearing the muffled voices of the announcements above us, as well as other communication going on across the station. However, while there was a normal, albeit boring, answer to these otherworldly voices, we were all glad to have moved on and out of that tunnel during the tour." In April, paranormal investigators explored one of UK's most notoriously haunted buildings, which is said to be a magnet for supernatural activity. Chris Cummings and Adam Billing traveled to the Old Griffin Hotel in Liverpool's Dockland area in a bid to see if there really were ghostly activities. Despite many uses over time, the building, believed to be well over 150 years old, is filled with spooky activity, according to ghost hunters. Speaking to the Liverpool Echo, Chris from Garston said, "It's not a functioning pub anymore, but the facade of the building has remained. We saw it was 150 years old and has had many uses in that time. The bar has all been ripped out and there's no hint that you're walking into an old pub. Everything has been ripped out. The guys in there hope to open it as a new attraction, which will be great for the city, something completely different. They are doing fantastic work, but it has a rich history." Blah, blah, blah. Ghosts, people. Ghosts. Not a fan. Not big into ghosts. Not big into... I'll put it like this. Not big into ghost hunter shows. I'll say. I believe that there may be something known as spirits or ghosts. But I don't think they manifest in the way that these shows portray them. I'll say that. Because I have had experiences. And I will also say that even in saying that I've had experiences, that I don't know what those experiences were. So I can't make any judgments about the experience that I had because I'm not sure what it was. I would like to believe that it was an experience with an otherworldly being, let's say. But am I sure of that? No. Not entirely sure. So, but I'm not a fan of the ghost hunter TV shows, the let's go to a location and take recordings and and try to elicit responses. I think a lot of that is horse shit. There is some of it that I think might have some credence, but I think it gets looked into a little too deeply. And I'll leave it at that. Not a fan. But on to our last story of the evening here, our title story from the dailystar.co.uk. Tourist accidentally captures UFO in background of holiday selfie in the desert. A tourist inadvertently snapped a UFO while taking a selfie at some sand dunes in the desert. Ramiro Navarro said he didn't notice the mysterious object in the background of his photo for several weeks. He took the snap while visiting the dunes of Bilbao and Cahuila, Mexico. Hope I fucking fucked that up completely. Excuse me, I'm sure I did. Navarro said, "A few weeks ago I went to the Bilbao dunes. What do you think?" He joked, "They saw me and did not take me away." A suspected alien aircraft is seen on the horizon in the background. I will let you guys take a look at this here. and you can come to your own fucking conclusions. Share. This is the image. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know that I go UFO instantly. I'll say that. Is there any other shots of it? There's this one. Yeah, I don't know that I go UFO instantly. But I don't know what it is. Like I've said before, people, I'm no fucking expert on this shit. I'm just looking at it. I don't know what it looks like. It looks like something in the air. Somewhere in the air. I guess. You tell me. Because I don't know. There used to be this guy, Phil. He does some videos now, but mostly he drops a camera in the water and films fish like a jackass when he could be doing like breakdown videos. So, if anybody knows of this fella, name of Phil, Para Breakdown, if they could ask him to pull his head out of his ass, stop dropping his camera in the water, and make videos about UFOs. They're hot right now. Just saying. Just a thought, Phil. Just a thought. It's just a thought I had. I'm not gonna do the break tonight. I'm gonna try to keep the show a little tight. Been having some issues with the dog today. When I do the show, I have to send my wife into another room because our apartment is small. And she's trapped in a room with the dog, and the dog has, let's just say, bad gas. Dog smells like shit. So, I'm gonna try to wrap this up pretty quick tonight. So that my poor wife doesn't get gassed out by the dog's asshole. I mean, I was smelling it earlier. It's pretty fucking rancid. Just saying. I've smelled some pretty horrid stuff in my time. That was fucking gross. And then I get to have it come back in here, so lovely. But I did get into and finish the Shiny Happy People documentary. IBLP. I gotta actually look up this shit for a second. Hold on. I wanna get this right. The fucking dude, Bill Gothard, which is, yeah. So the Shiny Happy People doc. Without going into it too much, because I don't want to give too much away to people who may want to watch said show. Farmer Fred Smith, thanks for chiming in. What have you been feeding the dog? Iams. Since she was born. Iams. Hasn't changed. Same fucking shit. Well, actually, she got puppy chow for a little bit. And then we moved over to Iams from the puppy chow. Because mom was on puppy chow as soon as she was pregnant. And then we moved over to Iams. But she's been on Iams ever since. To answer your fucking question. Thanks for asking, Fred. Thanks for asking. Fred wanted to know that Donald Sutherland was 88 years old today. I will bet you that Farmer Fred Smith is a fan of Kelly's Heroes. That's just a guess. Just a guess. If I was to be a betting man, I would put my money on Farmer Fred Smith, Kelly's Heroes fan. Yes? No? Maybe? Fred? See? Yes. Yes. Fred agrees with me. Farmer Fred concurs. See, just so everybody can believe me. There you go. Farmer Fred Smith concurring. But anyway, so I got into this Shiny Happy People documentary. This thing, how do I describe this? This IBLP Ministries that Bill Gothard started, all I could think of was, for one, their what is it they call them? Fundamentalist churches? Yeah. They're fundamentalists. Which, And he turned religion into a franchise, in my opinion. He franchised it out. But he didn't franchise it so much to, like, churches or anything like that, but to families. So every little family was like its own little cult inside the bigger cult. That's how I see it. It's my opinion. Seemed to be a lot of abuse. A lot of sexual abuse going on in these franchisee little cult places called families. I'm gonna be honest with everybody. There's a lot of that goes on in just everyday fucking families. Sexual abuse, I think, is more common than any of us want to admit. I know I grew up in a family that had it, that went on. There were boys and girls that were molested in my family, I do believe. Yeah, there were. And I know a lot of other people who were, and who had people in their families who were. It's that dirty little secret that nobody wanted to talk about when we were younger. It was that thing that your family swept under the carpet. Oh, we don't talk about that. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's, no. It was like my uncle and his, my uncle had schizophrenia. And, we didn't talk about it. It was kind of like hush-hush. I mean, we all knew it, but we didn't. There was weird shit the families do. But it's way more common than any of us would like to admit, and I don't think that this makes this little franchisee fucking religion any more evil. I think it harbored a culture that allowed for that and then covered it up. And then, of course, the leader was doing shit that was exactly the same. So you've got the Duggars there, their son Josh, who winds up getting arrested for CP, or I don't know, well, they call it something else now too, but I'm not going to say exactly what it was. Images, let's just say, not very good ones. From what they say in the documentary, they're pretty brutal, and that to me is horrible. As a father, I can't understand it. Not even for a second can I even fathom it. And for his father to have been as supportive as he was of him after finding out what he did to his sisters and then the subsequent stuff later on. I don't know. I mean, I've said this before on the show, and I will say it again. I believe everyone deserves redemption, but in some cases, there are some things that I don't think are fixable. But people who have made mistakes, I think are redeemable. There's redemption possible there. Making a mistake is one thing. Over and over, abusing children in this way is very wrong. And I don't think that's fixable. I think there's something wrong with you. I think you need to be put away and studied. That's how I feel. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But I don't think I'm wrong. And on that note, that fucking, this is a side note, but that fucking movie, The Sound of Freedom, holy shit, that thing's blown up. I'm thinking about going to check that out. It's really getting slammed by the media as being this QAnon adjacent movie. I don't think that it is, and I don't feel that it is. I think that that's propaganda by the media. And this is the thing that cracks me up. Everywhere I go, I hear about child trafficking. Okay. But now this movie comes out about child trafficking. And they're like, whoa, put the brakes on, QAnon. Holy shit. How dare you? How dare you talk about that? Child trafficking. Yeah, because we fucking hear about it all the goddamn time. To be careful. So, of course. But, yeah. Sound of Freedom. From what I've heard, good things. Good fucking things. So, maybe we should check it out. I might. Might wait until it's rentable on my TV. Hit the button. I like that shit. I gotta admit, people. I would much rather hit a button on my TV than go to a movie theater and sit in a fucking movie theater. I'm convinced that I just need to buy a big-ass TV and just rent my movies from home. Wait a little bit. I gotta wait a little bit. That's it. No more of this fucking going in there and the rat race and going up to the counter, buying the expensive bullshit. I have microwave popcorn out there. It's a lot cheaper. I can go pick up a fucking box of candy bars from fucking Sam's Club. Anything I want. And just bring it in here with me to watch the movie. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, y'all can think what you want. That's my route. I'm pretty sure that's my route. But yeah, the Duggars here, without going into it too much, because I'm not going to go too deep, I find these types of religious zealots, and I'm going to say zealots, A, fascinating, and B, disgusting. I grew up in a very Christian-oriented family. And because I had beliefs, in the early days, questions. More questions. Later on, beliefs that were different or differed. But I had questions when I was growing up. And my questions were basically answered with, shut the fuck up. Not always, but sometimes with those exact words, shut the fuck up. And the things that I was into like reading horror and playing Dungeons and Dragons and So my family thought I was basically like a Satanist. And then later on, I got into religions researching religions, I will say, that weren't what they would have considered normal. And where I wound up spiritually is kind of strange, and it's a long, drawn-out conversation that I'm not going to have here. But I find that type of upbringing to be very stifled and very prison-like. You forget the walls are there after a while. It's like an open prison, where I found myself later on in my life still adhering to things that I did not believe in at all, but that had been instilled in me as a child. And that stuff frustrated me and irritated me. So I find these types of these religious zealots to be disgusting because of what they do to their children. I believe in personal faith, for one. So my belief is with my children was that no religion. We don't introduce anything. Let them make their own decisions and come to whatever conclusions that they want. And for the record, my son at one point asked to go to church with like his cousins, I think. He sometimes comes on the show. I can ask him sometime. But, but he'll tell you he's very glad that I didn't push anything on him. And I let them, decide whatever the fuck they want. I personally think that shoving religion down a kid's throat is tantamount to abuse. That's my personal opinion. You can think whatever you want. You can think that it's a nurturing way to raise a child. I don't. I think telling a child that they're going to burn in eternal hell if they lie or they, steal or whatever the case may be is kind of stupid and abuse. I mean, I can remember as a child being insanely worried about burning in the eternal fires of hell. So, thanks. Thanks, folks. I enjoyed that. Had a swell time with it. As I said, my fucking now I lay me down to sleep every fucking night. Worried that I might fucking go to fucking hell. Good times. Yeah, I recommend it. Builds character, they say. That's what they say, it builds character. And take their character and shove it straight up their ass. So I didn't do that with my kids. My kids got the choice to be and decide to be what they wanted to be when it came to religion. There was never... I never tried to shove what I believed down their throat, and I never tried to stifle anything else. Of his own accord, he kind of had an aversion to some things. That had nothing to do with me. I washed my hands of it. So, yeah. It's, so I see the abuse that wound up happening with that sort of like an obvious thing. Like, the obvious conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, you have these little tight-knit families that don't go anywhere, and they're all, taught at home, homeschooled. All they see is the people within their little communities and the people that they grew up. Of course. And like I said, abuse happens. And it happens a lot more than any of us want to fucking talk about. There's a lot of shit that just doesn't even get reported. I can remember a girl telling me a story when I was younger, and it was abuse that she was telling me about, but she was proud of it. And I was in shock. So, ladies and gentlemen, abuse happens. Now, I'm not trying to make light of what happened with the whole Shiny Happy People doc and the Duggar family and the fucking Bill Gothard and all of that bullshit. However, I think that does need to be there for some perspective. I think that it definitely fostered it, but I don't think it necessarily created it. Because I think a lot of people want to go down that route, that it was inevitable because it was this Christian fundamentalist fucking group. No, I don't think so. I do think it fostered it, it helped it along. I don't think it was inevitable. But like I said, it's something that happens in all families. So it was bound to happen. You get a bunch of different families that are going to this fucking church. It was bound to happen. Is it a surprise that it happened in more of them there? Not when the leader was doing it. Even if nobody knew about it, that energy is there, I think. And I think people, even when they're being lied to and they believe the lie, that some bits of the truth show through. You catch it every once in a while. It's like that one little frame in a fucking movie that makes you want to go buy the popcorn type shit. Kind of blip. Ah! I saw it for a second. I think it shows through. Sort of like the vampire walking by the fucking mirror. Every once in a while you don't see the reflection and you go, whoa, ho, what the fuck? You gotta... Oh, alright. Yeah. I'm with a bunch of vampires. Shit. That guy's greasy as fuck. But I still love him. And they do. And that's the sad part. These people that worship these motherfuckers. Hero worship. I've never understood it. Never understood it. I did it at times, and I've still never understood it. So, my recommendation on the Shiny Happy People documentary is if you get angry about, and you like getting angry about, organized religion, then fucking pop it on. You're definitely gonna. And should people know about it? I guess, yeah. I mean, child abuse in this way should definitely be highlighted. And the fact that YouTube keeps fucking trying to crack... you're not even allowed to say the words. I have to tiptoe around the fucking words. It's gross. You should be able to talk about subjects. There should be free speech. For fuck's sake. Which is why I'm seriously considering moving to, onto some other platforms so that I can just fucking say what I want and, I'll still broadcast it to YouTube, but fucking decide fuck it. Because it ain't gonna matter. They're not gonna allow it to get anywhere. But yeah, the Shiny Happy People documentary, it was gross to know what happened. It's sad what happened to those girls. How they were used by their own father. And not in the abusive way that their brother did. Just that he used them. for gain in that TV show, and to look good as a father and the leader of his church, I guess you would say, because the family, I don't know how the whole thing fucking works, but it seemed to me like it was very franchisey shit. And once this stuff came out about the 19 and counting, whatever the fuck it was, the TV show, a lot of other people who were within that same church were like, oh, that's my life, that's the same shit I'm going through. So it's an interesting one to delve into. I kind of wish that I'd had Katie to watch it and go over it with. She's a great one to bounce shit off of. But I tend to get very angry when I watch documentaries like that. How could, parents let that happen? How could, leaders let that happen? How could people let that happen to kids? Kids don't have any choice. I remember being young and being vulnerable. I'm fucking 47 and I still feel vulnerable sometimes. But kids are even more vulnerable. And we should fucking be there to support them and nurture them and make sure they're okay and not abuse them. And that's my personal opinion. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up so that I can let my wife out of the dog fart room, I guess. I could keep going for a while. But if she's listening, that would be a problem, so. Or if she did listen. So yeah, I should wrap it up. Hopefully I will be back next week with Katie. Katie has some stuff she's got to deal with right now, so I'm letting her take some time. If she needs to take off next week, I may find a fill-in. Otherwise, I'll plan on trying to do a more in-depth thing where I can dive into something and really give you guys a good episode if she's not here. Because I was more or less banking on her being here for the Shiny Happy People thing, so that I could bounce stuff back and forth with her on that one. And she would have had a lot to say about the Rex Heuermann arrest. And I didn't want to go too deep into that one tonight either. As details come out, we'll definitely take a deep dive into that. To be honest with you, I did not think that the Long Island serial killer would be caught in any time in the near future. I didn't think it was going to happen. Based on everything that I had heard and the fact that it had just been going on and on and on and on and on, I did not think anyone would be arrested for any of these murders. So to hear that this guy's been arrested and tied to at least 3 of these women, some pretty big news. But I'd like to let things pan out for a little bit and see where the evidence lines up before we dive into it. But he has been arrested, charged. We'll see where it goes from there. I guess he's being compared to, like, Peter from Family Guy. I guess his friends compared him to Peter from Family Guy, so we'll see where that goes. We'll see where we go with old Rex Heuermann. But more importantly are his victims. Like I said, one of those girls was from my area, and from the last name, I'm pretty sure I knew some people that may have been related to her, but I don't know. I grew up with some Watermans, so I don't know. We shall see. Maybe I'll look into it a little deeper, but it's definitely sad. It's sad what happened to those women. And, he's only tied to 3 currently. They're probably going to tie him to a 4th one. There were a lot more bodies that were found in that area of Long Island, New York. So, I know they've been searching his house, or they have searched his house. And they were pretty surprised with some of the stuff that they found. So we'll let it unfold for a little bit, and then we'll dive into it. Like I said, hopefully next week Katie will be back. It is always nice to have somebody to be able to bounce the stuff off of, rather than just talk myself. She's a great sounding board, and she also has a great take on shit. So we'll be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with more strange news and true crime fun. It's not very much fun. Not for the people who live it, I guess. So, probably shouldn't have said it that way, I guess. Yeah? Who gives a shit? Anyway, we'll be back next Monday night. Until then, take care of yourselves out there, everybody.